Oh, I'm live now. Yay, we're live. All right, I'm early, so it's going to be a minute. Let's listen to my kid yell that he's a robot in the background. And, yeah. Who's there? What's up? How you doing? We're a little bit early. I was not going to start until 6, but hey, figured we'd start a little bit early. Probably not going to be another hour and 45-minute live stream today, but we'll do something. Trying to figure out what I want to do. Someone else is here. We're probably not going to be asking for sandwiches this time. If you guys caught that in the last stream. We got coffee on the way, though. Unless she makes me run downstairs and get it. She might make me run downstairs and get it after the sandwiches. Yeah, I'm looking around because I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. I got to do something. I'm kind of thinking about making a leash for my kayak paddle. That's a good project for today, right? Oh, what's up, Rich Crabtree? Yeah, I see you over at the Huntsman stuff a lot. Thanks for coming over, man. I like watching a lot of the Huntsman stuff. He's pretty. It's just so surreal. Oh, somebody else left. This ends up just being this live stream for the cool guys, I guess. It's okay with me. We are not going to be a channel for everybody, and that's for sure. Trying to figure out what I want to do. We can harass my wife with turkey calls. How's that sound? Harass the wife with turkey calls? A little bit of hen sanity. That's what this one is. It's a Primo's hen sanity. Oh, too bad you weren't here yesterday. We made her. I yelled at my wife to make me a sandwich on the live stream, and she didn't kill me. It was awesome. Yeah, and it's kind of hard anymore to find the guys that don't have their channel set up like a commercial for something. So I don't know, like I do some gear reviews and things like that, but I only do that if I feel that it's something that can benefit the handicap community. Hi. Yes, I'm live streaming. I'm talking to Rich Crabtree. He came over from Huntsman's channel. So far, we're early, so everybody's probably still waiting until 6. A lot of the Facebook group doesn't. I don't think they've rang the bell. So I don't know. People will get here when they get here. Show off what you got in your bag. Thank you. My wife brought me coffee. Show off what you got in your bag. That bag? That's actually got a it's funny you bring that up because I mentioned it yesterday in my live stream, and yesterday I had like no plan on really doing it, but I let everybody know. What did I do to my back? Well, I actually have a video explaining that, but I'll get into it a little bit. When I was, let me think. The surgery that messed me up, I was 17. So the first surgery that I had, I was 15. I believe I was 15. So I had a tumor that was connected to my spinal cord, and they had to cut 3 of my vertebrae in half to remove that tumor. But that surgery I came back from perfectly fine. So, I was in Boy Scouts at the time, and I was riding my bikes everywhere, and I was riding 4-wheelers everywhere. So I went right back to everything that I used to do before that surgery. It affected me in no way at the moment. But what happened was later down the road, that caused, the way it was explained is your spinal cord is so sensitive that if you remove something from it, it does something. Oh, what's up, Gunslinger? How you doing? That was an awesome fire challenge, by the way, man. That was cool. It was what I expected, and that was awesome. Okay, Rich. So with your spinal cord being so sensitive, my body felt like it had to make up for the loss of the mass of the tumor. And yeah, it was funny. Oh, that was so funny. You'll have to go check out Gunslinger's fire distance challenge video. Just great. So in order to make up for the loss of the mass of the tumor, my body made 2 of the arteries of the 4 that feed our spine with blood pump double the amount of volume that they're supposed to. And what that did is it took about a year to a year and a half, and it made my spinal cord, which relative would be like the size of your thumb, it made mine about the size of my fist inside of my spinal column. So they had to clog that artery with a surgical type of rubber cement. And they said if they overfilled that artery by even a quarter of a milliliter, that I was going to lose everything from my waist down. And when I woke up, they told me that they overfilled it by half a milliliter and I'd never walk again. And I did in 4 days. I was walking down the hospital hallway in 4 days on a walker. At the time of my surgery, it was still considered experimental, and there was only a handful of doctors that had ever done it. So, yeah, I did like 20 days in a very intense inpatient physical rehab facility. And then after that, I was on a walker for about 6 to 8 months. And then I started on a cane. And I mean, I was like, 18. I got out of physical rehab 2 days before my 18th birthday. So I was 18, 19 years old. We were drinking all the time. So yeah, I was drinking Jack one night and waddling through the woods with my cane and getting mad because I kept tripping on it. And I just chucked my cane off into the woods and kept on walking, like never. I didn't start using a hiking staff or a cane. Well, there was like a 10-year period after that where I just didn't really have anything to do with the woods again for a long time other than getting drunk and wandering through them. So when I got back into trapping about 6-7 years ago, I picked up a hiking staff. And yeah, because I got tired of falling on ice and through creeks and all of that. It was just a nightmare. But yeah. Oh, hi, Mom. T Sweely 67 is Mom, guys. Who else is in there? I know we got Rich Crabtree, we got Gunslinger, my mom's here. Mom's here probably making sure that we don't yell for ham sandwiches. We were turkey calling for coffee. I think Rich was the only one here to see that. Okay, Rich wants to know what's in the bag. And the bag actually has a purpose. We're going to start doing a thing where I'm going to let my subscribers, one way or the other, whether it's like in the comments of a video or it's somebody contacting me on the Facebook group or even like a direct message in Instagram, we're going to start doing a thing where I let the subscribers send me camping once a month. And it can either be like a camping trip or like an overnighter, camping overnighter, or even like a challenge video. I don't know. We just did the social distance fire challenge, so that'd be a good something like that once a month. And I was going to go out and do a I like the teepee shelters. So I was going to go out and do a teepee shelter overnighter. And I passed out in my wife's chair one afternoon, and then passed out in my chair the next day. And it was yesterday. So my neck's all pinched up. And once I get through that, we're going to go out here and do this. So Tristan in our Facebook group actually gave me the idea. He sent me a video of this guy setting up a teepee shelter twice. I don't know if he knows that he did it the second time. So it kind of gave me the thought, like, all right, well, he wants to see me do this, so we'll go do it. And that's kind of how I got the idea of letting my subscribers send me camping every month. So right in the very top, I hope you're still here, Rich. So right in the top, I keep my first aid kit, and I usually keep a couple little pencils because I always carry my little notebook, or I'll sketch something in it. So those usually stay up here, but I've been around the house the last couple days, and this is where I write down any little ideas that I have for something to do. In this side, I don't have it in there right now, but I always keep my it's like a Triple Tree stainless steel bottle. It's too big for this pack, but it rides in there and doesn't come out on me. For the record, I don't usually ever carry my water either. Okay, you're still here. Good. I don't usually carry my water. I have 2 pack dogs, and I usually make them carry the water. I can only carry like 15 to 20 pounds before I start getting, like, I feel that in my hips. So, yeah, I don't have dogs out there to make my channel. I have my dogs out there because I need them to carry the weight of the stuff that I can't carry. So my dogs are like, yeah, they're companions and we treat our dogs like family, but out in the field, my dogs are tools. My oldest male, I have to get a new harness for him, but my oldest male he's my heavy work dog. So he'll pull a sled for me. He pulls my trapping cart in the wintertime. If I feel lazy, I'll hop in the trapping cart and have him pull me back to the truck when I get wore out at the end of the day. I mean, he's just he's a machine in flesh. It's just, plus dogs are awesome. Dude, dogs are like, I think that's the second part of the personality that we're not born with, and it's given to us. I have been blessed with some awesome, awesome dogs. All right, so then in the other side pocket, this is actually like Texas Roadhouse butter, because I have an idea. I want to try to make I ruined one camp cup. I tried to make a muffin in a camp cup. He's getting older. Don't overwork your great dog. I don't overwork him. I don't think he's pulled the trap cart in like 2 years now. Because I switched up to a sled, and he's skittish in front of a sled. He doesn't like pulling them too much. And if it's anything that's like real heavy, I'll hook a rope to it and pull with him. I know. These other guys don't, though. So I haven't seen any other guys. I haven't really looked a whole lot either, but the only other kind of work dogs you see on YouTube are sled dogs, or like guys with their dogs and they have packs on them, but the dogs are only packing their own stuff. Like, my dogs carry their stuff and mine. So I've got something that I'm not finding anywhere else. And if anybody else knows guys that are doing that, like, leave links to their channels below. I'd love to see it. I don't want to try to claim to be the first in really too much of anything if I can't figure it out. So yeah, we just have coffee in this side pocket. That would have been cornmeal for some pinole. Coffee stuff, a breakfast deal in the morning. If you don't know what pinole is, it was an ancient Native American, like, toasted cornmeal, and they sweeten it with berries and honey. They would use like agave syrups. I'm still trying to figure that out, because every time I make it, it tastes like burnt popcorn. So yeah, I toasted a little too long yet. Still working on figuring that out. In the very front pocket, the first thing I get is my med kit. One of these times I'll have to take a video of Stunt in Sydney when I walk out of the room with their pack. They go absolutely insane. They go nuts. Yeah, Rick's in the very front pocket. This is my med kit. So this is like not my first aid kit. That's up here. My med kit is like my catheter supply. This is how I empty my bladder. So I usually carry however long I plan. If I'm going to be gone for a day trip, I carry 2 days worth of catheters. If I'm going to be gone for 4 days, I'll carry about 6 days worth. I always carry about at least a day to 2 days more than what I plan on being out. And in all honesty, I could really get away with just carrying what I'm going to be out, like what I'm going to need through the day, because then I always have, I've got a hoodie that's got pockets in the sleeves, and I'm always putting like 1 or 2 catheters in the sleeve pockets on that. Ace and Ada, Ada's 93. We have we love pit bulls. We absolutely love pit bulls. 2 of our dogs are father and son, and I had Stunt's mother. Yeah, Mom's chocolate lab is huge, guys. He is a monster. But yeah, Stunt's a 73-pound, mostly pit bull, has a little bit American bulldog in him. Hardy would be almost entirely pit bull with just a real small sliver of American bulldog. And we call him our fat boy. He's probably our shortest dog, but he's like the bulkiest one out of the bunch. And then Sydney is a rescued Mastiff and Lab mix. And she's the work dog in training. She's most of it right now is building her confidence to get her to want to work, and she likes wearing her pack. It's building her confidence in taking commands. Yeah, Hardy is a sweetheart. That's how he got his name. Sarah always called him Sweetheart, so I said, why don't we name him Hardy? So yeah, my med kit is always right in the front pocket, so I can easily get to it. And then I actually took this out yesterday because we were playing with Flint and Steel on the live stream. This is my Uberleben stove, and it stays right in the front pocket too. And I've got I was going to play with Flint and Steel kit. Play with my Flint and Steel kit. So that's what we have in here too. And my Flint and Steel kit, because I shoot pellet guns a lot, is in a pellet container. Oh, I know which ones red noses are. I couldn't tell you what kind of line ours were at all. The first one I had, she was half American Bulldog and half Pit Bull. And I put her down about 3 years ago now. But that dog helped me learn how to walk again. My wife actually got me a painting of her. For Christmas 2 years ago. And she was an absolutely awesome dog. My wool blanket was laying in front of my bag. It's part of what we're going to be doing. Basically, I want to do a TP shelter overnighter with minimal gear because it's going to be something of a subscriber special too. So that's the plan with this. And then, let's see. All right. So inside, the muffin that I was talking about. The only thing I don't have in here is my cook cup because it's downstairs. It needs washed out. So, yeah, we're going to try to make a muffin in the cook cup and see if I can ruin another one. And then, yeah, got to have hot cocoa right after whiskey. Let's see, my Rhino Tough sleep pad. And it's even got one of those little inflatable pillows in there. If you stick around to my channel, Rich, I'm not much of a hammock camper, and I don't know if it's because I haven't found one that I'm comfortable with yet. I've tried a couple, but I'm just not comfortable in them. So I sleep on the ground a lot. And I like doing a lot of tarp shelters because the tarp is, a lot lighter to carry around than a tent. Although we are ordering a teepee tent here real soon. So I got an idea for a teepee tent. So yeah, my Rhino Tough sleep pad. This thing's pretty light. It only weighs about a pound. Let's see what else we got in here. My little mini cast iron skillet. This is part of my tarp shelter kit. I carry a Chill Gorilla 10x10, and then this is like the stakes and these they're called alligator clips, and it's something I can clip onto the edge of my tarp if I need another tie out, because my tarp only has the basic tie out points on the centers and then on the corners. So these little gator clips, I can put the tarp material right inside of the teeth and then clamp it down, and I have another tie out point on my tarp. And then I always leave about a foot paracord on my stakes, just a convenience thing. I'm going to be ordering a couple different hammocks to try out. I want to try to find a hammock system that works for me. For some reason, every one of them I try, it doesn't matter how tight I pull them or if I try to lay in them at an angle, I always end up shifting back, and then I sleep almost hunched over. So I'm struggling to find a hammock that I'm comfortable with, but I'm trying to find one. I'm not nixing the idea out. Yeah, I've tried a few of them. I have not found a hammock setup that I'm comfortable in yet. So I just like sleeping on the ground. And with having to use a catheter at night before you go to bed, and then when you wake up in the morning, I've tried using the catheter in a hammock, and it's just a pain in the ass. Yeah, I like a little air mattress underneath of me, man. I'm just a ground dweller. Oh, I see we're up to 5 people now. As soon as I say something, we'll drop back down to 3. If you guys are there and you're not sure, there's a little live chat button underneath of the video that's playing. You can click that live chat and it'll put you in the chat room with the rest of us. Yeah, I've had a lot of guys tell me to try sleeping in them at a dangle too, and I think I roll too much, and being a side sleeper, I just work myself right back into that sleeping in a bowed position, and then I wake up in the morning all hunched over. Makes me feel 80, and I don't like that. So I like sleeping on the ground. And then I had my little folding Eversaw in here in my pack, Rich. I think the last thing in here was my heavy-duty emergency sleeping bag that I was going to use for a ground cloth that night. Oh, nope. The whiskey was in there too. Whiskey is always in the pack. Unless it's getting filled, and then it goes right back in here anyways. So yeah, I was going for like a really minimal gear overnighter, pitch up a TP style shelter, and I wanted to try and making. See, I got to figure out how I can prop the front open a little bit because I wanted to put like almost make it like a hot tent with my Uberleben stove and see if it would retain any kind of heat. I'm actually sitting on top. See, okay, I sit on the floor in my live streams because I sit on the floor all the time. So when I sit on my floor for the live streams, I have one of those Coleman self-inflating pads, and I'll let it sit up here and pump itself up. Actually, the TP that I'm using, I was going to use my 10 by 10 and make the TP out of the 10 by 10, but do it in a different way than I haven't done on the channel yet. Because I've got like 3 different ways to set up a TP or even a TP shaped shelter. One of them I got from the Huntsman, but it's like it's more like a wedge than a TP. Now the one that I'm gonna be buying is I'm gonna cheap out a little bit and get the River Country Products Trekker TP because it only weighs 2.5 pounds, and I can have one of the dogs carry that. And I just got this kayak, so I wanted a really, really lightweight, fully inclusive shelter system for that. Yeah, okay, here's why I'm not considering the one Tigress. Because I really want one of the Lux brand TPs. And they're more expensive than the one Tigress, but they've got better reviews from the guys that are using them in worse conditions. And I went with I went with the River Country Products over the one Tigress because it's half the price for the same material. The only thing missing was the stove jack. But you can get stove jacks for like $20. So I would have an all-inclusive shelter system with the stove jack that I could install on my own for like $75 compared to 100, or I think with the Lux setup it'd be like 180. I did look at the one Tigress ones though. And then yeah, Rich, I always have my Kuxa, and this is a little walnut spoon. My mom found this somewhere. Hyperlight's expensive though. If I remember right, that one was like almost $200 TP. It's been a while since I looked at the Hyperlight, but I know that those ones were expensive. I'm not afraid to buy cheap gear. If something, I mean, I don't feel that you have to dump that kind of money into a piece of gear for it to work for you. You know, I've got all of my tents so far are Ozark Trail tents, and the only one that we have a problem leaking is our big like 6 or 7 person dome tent, and it only leaks in the seams under like really, really heavy rain conditions. Yeah, really expensive, but really light. I think the Trekker tent that I'm looking at, that I'm gonna get from River Country, is only like 2.5 pounds. It's fairly light. About 800. Yeah, that's crazy. That's like those Hilleberg tents. Those things are insanely expensive. And then, Rich, I do kind of have a little bit of a method to how I get my gear in too. I want my heavier stuff at the bottom, and then I usually carry my wool blanket across the top of the pack. Instead of having, some guys will carry the sleeping bag on the bottom with some of the heavier gear on the bottom, and I've seen people recommend the heavy stuff be up across your shoulders. It's easier for me, and I have better balance if I kind of break them up and then have my lighter stuff in the center. That could have to do with the way that I walk also. And I was planning on carrying water for this because, I was going to do this one out in my yard with the quarantine that's going on. I figured it'd be a good one to, I was actually going to try to live stream it, but I found out that I don't have the channel requirements to do mobile live streaming. So I would have to hook extension cords up to take my laptop outside. And yeah, it's been like raining and crap weather here the last few days, so I'm not going to subject my laptop to being put in the rain. That's just a bad idea. That's kind of, yesterday on the Huntsman live stream, he was, the whole bushcraft and woodsman topic came up. And, ever since I even started my channel, I didn't know about the Huntsman until after I started my channel. I didn't know about a lot of other YouTubers until after I started doing this. Just a select few, and I don't even want to talk about those guys. So, I just don't want to, I'm a little channel. I think I just hit 360 subscribers, so it's not up to me to be out here bashing on other YouTube creators, especially guys that have been doing it for 10 years. But I've lost a lot of respect recently for the guys that I have watched over the years because of how they're conducting their channels now. So there was something, a comment made over on the Huntsman's live stream yesterday about bushcraft versus woodsman. And, I'm probably going to stop running anything bushcraft because it's really a country specific term, or even like a regional specific term. It was an Australian and southern African, the guys that lived in the bush. That was bushcraft. When it came over to America, in North America, it wasn't even a craft. It was a woodsman, a mountain man. It was a title, not something you went and did. Exactly. Yep. And I feel that woodsman kind of, the whole woodsman theme and the woodcraft side of things fits what I'm doing better than calling it bushcraft. You know what I mean? It's my channel. I'll do what I want, but that was kind of my thinking behind it. And that's not really influenced by anybody else's way of doing things. It's just, when I started doing this, I started researching a little bit more. Okay, what's the origins of bushcraft? And you can look that up, and it goes right back to, it's an Australian way of life for the guys that lived in the bush. I say woodcraft. Yeah, that's where I think I'm gonna go with it. I think that's just more suiting to what I do, or what I want to get out of this. I'm a trapper, so for me it goes back to a little bit of the trapper traditions and things like that. That's what I kind of want to build upon. And yeah, everybody has bushcrafted everything. Everybody has bushcrafted everything. There's only one woodsman on YouTube. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. There's a couple woodsmen on YouTube, but there's only one of them out there like running with the title, and that would be the Wooded Beardsman. But I mean, look at everything he does. That guy is woodcrafting it all, and it's awesome. Even though I think he still runs with bushcraft, doesn't he? I love the guy's content. I think he's awesome. And like he's good at telling a story to what he's doing. Now Huntsman, he's just got this whole other thing, man, and that's a journey, and it's really cool. Like the way he's got all of his stuff played out. I don't even think he's here, and we're talking about him. But the dude gave me like huge shout outs last night on his stream, so I'm kind of glad that I stuck with watching his channel. I almost didn't. He's rough and tumble, but he's a good guy. So yeah, that's the pack. The pack itself is a Continental rucksack from LL Bean. Making you blush and shit. Oh, how long you been sitting there lurking, man? Oh. Rich had me pulling a huntsman stunt, showing you guys what's in my pack. I didn't let anybody pick my gear, though. Tristan in our group picked a shelter, and I don't think he even knows that yet. But we started this live stream off turkey calling for coffee. About 20 minutes. What's this guy talk about when I'm not in the scenes? Well, there you go. Oh. Man, it's killing me being like, I hate being down. You missed the coffee call. Oh, it was pretty good. It was a good one. But yeah, being locked up is kind of not locked up. I mean, I'm still getting out, but these last few days is just. I'm gonna complain a minute. It sucks. I hate being stuck inside. Oh, let's let me see here. I strip all of my cord out. This feels like it still has a center in it. Oh yeah. Okay, so that'll work. Let's work on a leash for the kayak paddle. Yeah, what other kind of person is going to devote their time to go start at the very, very beginning of some other person's YouTube channel? But I got a reason for that. You're showing yourself as a person, and or even like in your way of putting it, as a character in your story. So it puts it in a whole different perspective than it does going back and digging through somebody else's how-to content that has made their channel. That's the only way I can think to explain that. So it really is like a visual book, I guess is how you could explain it. Life happens. Oh, absolutely. There is nothing you can do about it. You are gonna feel every bump in the road that life gives you, but I mean, it's all in how you deal with it, I guess. I didn't. I'm not bringing my demons here. I dealt with my demons. My channel is how to make a hunt. There you go. I dealt with my demons well before I started doing this, so that's not really an aspect that I can bring to it. But I'm not trying to bring my story, so to say. I'm trying to bring my experiences, which I guess works out to be something of my story. I don't know. That's how Steve is playing it out, and it works for him. And I'm going to show you guys what I do and how I do it. And if that turns into, it's going to turn into whatever it turns into. That's what I'm going for. I really just want people to see this and they're like, okay, if he can do it, I can do it. That's the entire purpose to this, because that's what got me into doing like more of the survival side of things. Watching watching a couple of these other YouTube guys run out in the woods and do that stuff. I'm like, if they can do it, I can do it. So we're doing it, and you know what? We're owning some of it too. We are owning some of it, and I'm proud of that. I still didn't get my torch out. Just my little survival lighter. Oh, I wonder when. So I wonder if it's mom that's still watching. I know the three guys that are watching. Is it mom that's still watching? Apparently, both of our parents check our live stream, Steve. Oh, God, what's this guy doing on the internet now? Don't worry, Mom. I'm not doing anything that Russell would have done. Man, if I took myself and the things that have happened to me serious, I'd be a one miserable person. There's no way around that. But I refuse to be a miserable person. I mean, like you said, life happens. There's nothing you can do about it. So Why dwell on it, I guess. See, I think we're going to use the bright green, the reflective black, and maybe the gray. Oh my God. Epic bushcraft food. Epic bushcraft food. I showed my wife that. She was losing it too. Oh, I should be there. I don't see why I won't be on that stream. I need to. Man, I hate to say it, but I did run myself ragged for those. I don't even know how many videos we pumped out in consecutive days, but I know that it was quite a few. And I just ran myself ragged. Daddy's gonna cook. Oh, that daddy ain't yelling for sandwiches, huh? You guys are awesome. Had me at rainbow sprinkles. Oh. So I think most kayak leashes are like an arm and a half, arm length long. So if I'm going to braid this, I'm going to go about an arm span and a half. Can always cut them shorter at the end. That's funny. That is like, man, that is some creative genius behind that, though. In all reality, I could have never thought to do something like that. It's just, that's, once the RPG crowd catches on to you doing that, it's going to go completely insane. Like, once the real gamers figure that out, it's going to be totally crazy. Don't promote other people's shit. No, but I'll talk about it because it's awesome. Oh. Oh my God, no. No. Rojo Robert, that's name on the label. That's funny. Oh man. You're brutal. That's epic. That's epic. You know, I was cool with watching Joe until I understand the dude had a rough year, okay? With everything that happened, I understand he had a rough year. But when he started having to stop halfway through his videos to promote that game, like, what are you doing, man? I was more okay with you promoting the shave club thing than a game. Like a game. And then I feel bad for almost ranting about the guy because he was really one of the, like, I learned a lot from watching that. I missed that. Little Joey Pudding. Yeah, Joe has skills. I'm not saying that in any way. Like, There's no denying that one. I lost a lot of the thrill in watching his stuff when it turned into gaming commercials. I don't know. That's just what did it for me. All right, just be careful, man. I had a feeling you did something that required a business suit. Oh, okay. So that gives us our 3 colors here. And I'm going to tie a nice big loop in that. Actually, you know what? We're just going to start with a knot. Make it easy. Start with the knot. Just a simple overhand. Get the extra stuff out of my way. All right, so do we want to use a plastic S-beaner or do we want to use a stainless steel one? The stainless steel would look good, but the plastic S-beaner will break away if it absolutely needs to. I'm kind of thinking the plastic. We use the plastic. Since I'm doing this on my Foot Locker, you guys don't get to see me doing the awesome braid. Because, yeah, we're up in my gear room and there's no desk. It's just hanging out with the laptop on top of one of my Foot Lockers that holds camping gear. So, what do you get into, Rich? What's your outdoor thing? Gunslinger lights big fires with gasoline. Oh, I'm slowly getting into some of your other stuff, man. It's taking me a little bit. Oh, a truck driver, huh? Well, that's cool, man. I was my adopted dad is a flatbed hauler for Mountain Truck Lines, goes coast to coast. And I spent about a year and a half on the truck with him. Working right alongside him, helping tarp the loads down and all of that. Yeah, I didn't grow up in a family that had a lot of money either. So we were always like, we went hunting a lot, and I was in Boy Scouts, and I was very fortunate to have a Boy Scout troop that was very active in the outdoors. Um, I mean, we went camping at least once a month. We were pretty active in getting outdoors and doing stuff as far as that went. Yeah, Milton's they're a pretty big company. It was a lot of fun, man. I had a lot of fun doing that. It was really cool. One of my most memorable times is we took this load of, I don't remember if it was granite or if it was marble, but I know it was some kind of stone along those lines. Um, we took it from a quarry in South Dakota, I believe, and we took it to New Jersey, right in Atlantic City. They were building a casino. And my dad, my adopted dad, he's like 6'4", and at the time was almost like 350 pounds. So he's a big guy. He goes to get out of the truck, and the wind slams the door back in his face. And I mean, here's a little 110-pound crippled me. He's like, "I'll just stay in the truck and I'll take care of it this time." I'm like, "Nah, we gotta see how this is." So I hop out of the truck. That wind put me on my knees. I had to crawl to help him get that load untarped, and I don't even think we folded the tarp up. We just balled that thing up and strapped it to the trailer and got, I think, like 30 miles out before we could pull over and fold it back up to go in the box. Speak and demo stuff at the local Boy Scouts. My uncle's Cub Scout troop, before we got into this quarantine, I was supposed to take them on a walk around one of the drain lakes in the area and do like some scouting practice. We had to reschedule that, so I'm just still kind of waiting for that. But I think that'll be cool. Scouting was a huge part of my life. A huge part of my life. I did not ever get my Eagle Scout, though. I got kind of cheated out of the Eagle Scout. When I had my second back surgery, I just didn't get my. It's kind of my fault, so I'm not going to say that I got cheated out of it, but it's kind of my fault. I just didn't have the paperwork turned in on time. So I had my Eagle project done. I restored fire escapes on this like church's day camp, girls' dorm room facility. We restored all of the fire escapes. But I didn't have my paperwork done, so I didn't get my Eagle Scout. But scouting has this, it's like National Honor Society in school, but it's the National Honor Society of Scouting. It's called Order of the Arrow. And your Boy Scout troop actually has to vote you into it. You cannot get, like, you don't earn a rank to get in or anything like that. Your troop has to vote you into it. And yeah, my troop actually felt it necessary to give me that honor, so I was lucky that way. And I was actually talking to I'm still very close friends with one of my scoutmasters. My troop has been since like disbanded, so they're not even an active troop number anymore. but I'm still really close friends with one of my scoutmasters. And he told me that if I paid up all my dues, like from the last 10 years that I've been inactive, that Order of the Arrow would still allow me to like reactivate my activity within the organization again. And they do like a lot of service projects and things like that that help benefit Boy Scouts in the Boy Scout camps. Oh, we're not going to have much longer. My wife is a postal worker, so she has to be up to go do some kind of, they're doing a thing with Amazon right now. That's all I know, and I think that's all I can legally say. So she has to be at work at like 5 in the morning. That's why we can only do this live stream. Yeah, man, my kid is only allowed to have a tablet for a couple hours a day, and he gets to watch his morning cartoons, and after that, we get him busy helping us do stuff around the house. Entirely too many video games. That's how a lot of my friends were. Didn't want anything to do with scouts, but we would go off into the woods and play all the time. I think one of my favorite things to do was probably getting on the four-wheeler and riding up the train tracks. Running rabbits with my stepdad. That was always fun. First dogs that were ever mine were 2 blue beagles. Oh, I see the numbers climbing. What's up, everybody? We're kind of just hanging out, talking, working on a braided leash for my new kayak paddle. Kayak and kayak paddle. There's a little live chat button underneath the video screen. If you want to click on that, you can get involved in the live chat. Otherwise, this is kind of just hanging out, watching me make stuff. We used to just call it bushcraft shelter. Yeah, it was sports when I was growing up. I didn't know about bushcraft until I was like 25. It was hanging out in the woods. I mean, that's... And I'm not really trying to like bash on the bushcrafters either. They have made it a way of life. It's just in North America, it was called being a mountain man or being a woodsman. It was woodcraft. And I think that's kind of the direction that we're going to start going with this a little bit. Yeah, Steve, I looked up what actually originally even led me to finding bushcraft at all. I was looking up I was researching 1800s style trappers camps. And then I found bushcraft everything. And I'm like, what is this? Yeah, I get that, Gunslinger. That's kind of where I'm at. They can do their bushcraft thing, and I'm gonna do my woodscraft thing, and we'll all just be happy on our own channels. It works out. Just whatever day of the week it is. Yeah. You make it that there's not a lot of guys that can do this in their videos. There's only a select few, and they actually give their videos a "this is my way of life" while they're doing what they're doing. And Huntsman, I think you're kind of one of those. I mean, who else works their way to get the trust of an entire deer herd? That's crazy. Oh. Well, I think my wife's out of the shower now, so she's going to be heading to bed here soon, guys. We're going to have to shut this down here in a minute. So, yeah, thanks for coming over and hanging out. What I might do is do a live stream like through the days of the quarantine diaries where I can't get a video uploaded because I got lazy or beat the hell out of myself for too many days in a row. I'll probably jump on the live stream, and that's what we'll do for the day, which might end up being here like live streams for the next couple of days. But hey, we're doing something. I think that's what matters. Thanks, Gunslinger. Yeah, we'll do what we do. I don't do anything else. I don't. What you see is what you get. So, all right, guys, let me get ready and close this out now. So, I will talk to you guys on the next one. Thanks for coming over.